Well, I'm going to try and wipe away the disappointment of Celtic just getting knocked out of European football for another season by talking about The Women in Black. Now, there has recently been a new trailer released for The Women in Black. If you don't know what it is, The Women in Black is a film based on a novella by Susan Hill. It's a classic ghost story. It was originally made into a film in 1989 for television, which they really created such a great, wonderful ghost story adaptation when they did that. But this new version is going to be, it's being produced by Hammer Studios, which is always a great thing to see them back. It's been, well, it's starring Daniel Radcliffe from Harry Potter, and it's also being written by Jane Goldman, and I'm really looking forward to it. So they did release a teaser trailer earlier in the year, and it looked okay. You know, you couldn't really tell that much about what was happening with it. But they then just released another trailer now, and I was really happy with it. I hope that the film is as good as it looks. First of all, the cinematography actually looks brilliant. The art direction looks fantastic. They look like they've really captured sort of early 20th century, and or in fact earlier. Actually, I'm not exactly sure when they're setting it in this, but it's sort of late 19th century, early 20th century, I think, and um, it just looks phenomenal. It looks great. So it looks as if they spent some money on it, or they've at least got a lot of talent working on it. So that bodes well. Daniel Radcliffe looks great in it. I know some people will be like, will only be able to think of him as Harry Potter, but I think it's a really smart move by him to actually take a role like this. If they pull this off, they'll be creating a classic ghost story on film, which we haven't seen in the West for quite a while, in my opinion. Um, my only issue with it was that the poem that was being read out in the trailer was read out by a child with an American accent. Now, I'm hoping that that was just for the trailer and not for the film, because, it's a British ghost story. In fact, more specifically, it's very much um, an English ghost story, and I think that it should have that it should be quintessentially English as a film, in my opinion. Um, very sort of reminiscent of M.R. James stories and things like that. But I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah, check the trailer out below. I'll leave a link down there. I think that I really hope they can pull it off. Now, I read something by accident, which was basically some spoilers to do with the film. I'm not going to mention what they are, but what I'm going to say is that they have actually changed the story from the book. In some ways, I'm actually kind of happy about that. Normally, I wouldn't be, but the reason that I'm kind of happy about it is that, I've read the book, I went to see the stage play, which is phenomenal, and I also I'm a big fan of the original television film, and I'm happy if they've changed it up a little bit. There's been a lot of adaptations of the book, so if they change it up a little bit, then fair enough. As long as they keep this to the spirit of the book, keep the atmosphere of it, keep the house out on the causeway, keep all of that, and keep the general the general story the same, then I'll be happy with it. But yeah, check out the trailer below. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you think of the look of it. Because I actually think it looks good. Looks like it's well shot, and hopefully we'll have a classic ghost story in our hands. Unfortunately, since I last made that video about the Women in Black teaser trailer, it's been pushed back to February. So it's not been released this year now. It's being released next February. It was going to be released around Halloween, I think, which would have been great. Maybe there's a lot of horror films coming out at that time, and they thought it would be too crowded. So it's going to be in February, which normally is a kind of very dead sort of time for cinema. The actual story itself, initially, the beginning of it takes place at Christmas, following on from the old traditions in Britain of telling ghost stories on Christmas Eve, and it would have been good to have seen it released at Christmas if it has that aspect to it. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Really looking forward to it. For the third time, I've already said, check out the trailer below and let me know what you think about it.